Okay, now we're doing ears. I hope your hubby appreciates this. So now, I'm not to pick on you too much, but notice how much, here it goes, stand up.
I see the curve.
Yeah. So, not to correct you, this is a prime example of correction. So see the difference? Now this quote would be correct. And how does that feel? Does that feel strange?
No, straight.
Does this feel better though? I mean, sometimes, well, you have to keep in mind when someone's head's like this, it could have been the way she laid down. I didn't have her lay down and then prop her. She laid down around the props. But I don't correct. I don't correct an adult. I don't correct a child. I just take them where they go. But also people have hearing aids. Now she could be this way because her hair's on this side. I mean, so I don't judge someone. But that is something that I go, But also too, her feet are very straight up. So it just shows her state of relaxment. So same thing. Now I'm going to do it to you. Now you watched me do it. So just feel the amount of pressure that I'm doing to bring, quote, the head to the shoulder. So I'm pushing the head from the right into the left shoulder. And now this is the other way. See, now you're just the opposite, but feel, I can push pretty hard and I'm not getting that head to the right. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. But here, feel the difference? So, but here. So because of that, I know I can feel the strain all the way through the neck here. So feel again. So feel how the neck wants to hold your head in that position. Probably what's going on is that maybe her head is tilting a little bit. Her head's going, I don't want it to tilt more, so I'm putting my brakes on. And then also too, to lift your head. No, I do it. That's pretty heavy. Anybody want to feel her head? Sorry, it's class time. Don't let me forget the before and after this time. Yeah. Do you want to do it?
You can barely lift.
Now feel the difference. Sit down, watch the chairs low, and now lift. You don't want your muscles to also influence the... It's still heavy, but it'll feel more heavy when you're like this trying to do something versus sitting. Okay, now we get to work. It's great, you're pretty earring. So all I'm doing here, it's a very, very gentle. When you touch the ears, it's like a lotus flower. I'm not grabbing and doing this. But what I am doing is I'm not pulling out. I'm not pulling like just to the left, because that doesn't feel good. What I'm doing, there's a nice place right for my thumb, and I'm rotating. But as I'm rotating down with the left ear, I'm rotating up with the right. So it's almost like I'm wringing a dishcloth. When I'm doing that, again, most people think that what I'm touching is the ear, but what I'm trying to feel is how the skull is going to work. Because don't forget, this is where there's openings in the skull to allow this to happen. Okay? So not only are you working with the attachment of the skin to the skull, but what I'm after is those ear canals that are going into the actual cranium. I did this once to this kid with autism, and he's literally looking at my hands like a hoot owl. He's trying to watch everything I'm doing. He's like, all right, I'm done looking. What are you doing to me? So I said, I'm helping you hear better. That is physically impossible to help you hear better. I said, no, it's not. All right, we'll have to see about that. But he could hear better. I've had kids, so Lise up there, his hearing is up 25 decibels. Again, can I prove it? No. But I've done it to several kids. Feel the shift. So I'm pulling down to the left shoulder and I'm pulling up on her right side. I'll do it on both sides so you can see it. But I'm doing it slow enough because I want to see how the head's responding. And already what I'm very happy with is her nose is crossing midline. So see, I come back here, it's facing the ceiling, but very easily now the nose is flagging. But this way, see how no matter how much I pull, the nose wants to stay to the ceiling. Isn't that funny? It's a very gentle, see how, like if I just put like here, but again, to the right, but see now I corrected her, but to the left, you can see the difference. So I'm going back to the ears now. But as she can allow me to twist these ears more and more, I'm twisting them. So my trajectory right now, let's say, is here on the twist. When I first start off, maybe the twist is here, and now I'm so now my trajectory is probably like here. So I'm twisting down and literally twisting up, pulling up. And now I'm going to go back. And now I'm twisting this way with the left. And again, I'm doing it with both ears, I get it. But let me show you this way. So if I put her back, this is if I was doing it both hands the same. Do you feel on that? It almost feels like I'm doing a tug of war with your head. But see how my intention right now is to the left. You see that? So even though I'm twisting on both ears, so now I'm pulling back and twisting up. So it's a pull that way. I guess best way to explain it, it's just like I had this fabric and I'm pulling and twisting. But see now how nice I can move the skull through the ears, just from the... So now I'm going to come underneath here. It's going to almost look like a lift, but the same thing. As I'm twisting the head this way, but I'm around the base of the ear. But also I have my palms in the top of the head. So it would be like if I was twisting her head. But obviously with no pressure. I'm not doing it like a vice. But see, that's what I was showing you before in this discussion. See how her temple should rotate up while the chin can tuck under. That's it. That's beautiful. Just to show you the other side, see? I can't even rotate off the neck because I haven't worked on the right side. You feel that? Versus here. And again, if I wasn't doing the whole head, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not protecting her vestibular. I'm not working with her system. I can sit here and touch and do all I want. Or do this. That's just lame. That doesn't even feel good. But if I do this, but I'm also thinking of her with hair. I mean, I wouldn't work on Hitomi any differently than my mother or my child. I really am going, ooh, that's so pretty. There, now it's just going on the other side. But still, she's only coming over versus rotating now. See how the neck can stretch now and do all of that? So now I'm just going to go back to the ear. There we go. She's just starting out. Do you feel now? You can feel more of the pull? of the ears through the head. It's actually kind of fun. It'll all be on video. I know you're not going to remember any of this, so don't worry about it. So now I'm going to go to the other side. So same thing, I'm just opposing my hands. And by the way, I'm taking, so see how that's difficult? Feel the difference? Versus here. Just stops. So I just, when I feel the stop, I don't get harder, I get softer. The only reason I keep taking my hands off of her head though is to give instruction to the video camera. If she was my client, I would never. That's when clients go, oh, you can videotape it. No, this is your lesson. You know, this is class. There we go. That's it. So now this side's going to be so much quicker. Woohoo, but still. So now I'm rotating down and pulling up. See now too, this is where I talk about with my work. Do you see how the rate of acceleration is changing in the face? Do you feel that, Tony? How it goes boop, boop, boop? Can you see that if you had hearing aids, right, and cochlears, do you see, feel the difference in the rotation? And again, I'm not saying ditch the hearing aids, but again, these are lessons you need to consider so the child's system is not being compromised, it's being assisted. When you take a child with limited amounts of mobility and limit them even further, you're really almost pushing a regression to happen. But if you take a system that's limited and you need to do certain things to assist them, then you're helping their system. But you have to look at, you can't just do something because a doctor said it. Like, I'm aboard with low tone kiddos because Graham's low tone. So a physical therapist wants to put 1 pound weights on each foot of his 21 pound baby or boy to help him walk. That's like equivalent that I said, if you're 150 pounds of walking around with 7.5 pound weights on each foot.
It's impossible.
How would you do? I mean, I don't know where people get the logic from. I said, why don't you work on mastering this skill and then making it more sophisticated? Because if you can't even walk to begin with, I mean, which is crazy. I mean, it just doesn't make logic to me. I'm not trying to put the PT down, but it's just like, you just need to think as parents as well as therapists. There we go. And see, now this is walking and running. Now again, if she never wants to run again in her life, that's fine with me, but at least her brain knows, okay, if a tiger attacked me, I can run away from the tiger. So now I'm just going to go underneath the jaw, because again, I can't get into where the eustachian tubes are, but what I'm doing now is I twist and a light lift. But even just the pressure of my hand is enough of a lift. I'm not doing this. Right there. Do you remember where I said that seesaw with the profile from C2? That's what I'm going after right now. There we go. See, now it's going sideways. There we go. There. See, now I get the jaw. And once I get the jaw, then I can go quicker. Now this might feel like a massage. It's one of the few areas here, where you actually have to go through tissue to manipulate the bones. I mean, the neck muscles here are so profound, there's no way I'm going to get in and say, ooh, I need to work with your profiles, because if I do that, now I'm going to cut off her blood supply, and the nerve functions. I need to do it, I need to touch, thinking I'm touching the area, but not really. So now I'm going to do something that's a little unusual. I almost forget the name of it. Put the bone right underneath the jaw that just floats there. It's still a bone. So I'm going to come in here. and just make my presence known. Now, I wouldn't do this on a non-typical person. I mean, I'm telling Hitomi, she's volunteered for this. Oh, I forgot to startle you, shoot. But this really could pick up a gag reflex on, with some people, if you just, especially the kids. There's a fine line, watch. If I do this and this. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable in your esophagus? There we go. The shoulders.
This is Sakura's place to tickle him.
There we go. So I'm just going to go back here. And then I'm going to go back to the ears. Now it looks like I'm doing the same movement again, but since she's moving so much now, it's a different movement, even though it's the same. But look at how neutral she is now. Now I don't have to. See, it's no longer feels like this. Even if I pull, do you see how easy that feels in the head? Versus before, it really felt like a pull. Now I can come in here. Now I'm going to cup the ear. And I'm going to twist. And I'm going to do a clock. First my concentration's on the right side. And I'm going to feel how that clock works. Can I do a full circle? Even though my hand's counterbalancing my moves, my intention's all on the right. And then now I'm going to do the opposite. With the left, my intentions are there. I just want to make sure that that circle feels right in both areas. So now I can just... Now again, I haven't touched her head. I haven't touched her face. I've only worked here. Okay? But now... And also, naturally, if I go like this, you know what I mean, she's fine going in and out of. Now I will do a couple of quickies underneath though, just to... Even though this is class, I can't have someone on my table and find something and not work on it. And I just want to make sure. So now see, this is the opposite of falling. See what I'm doing here? I'll do it on this side. I'm putting pressure into like C2 and I'm rolling the head up onto my hand. So this is the opposite what I did to you for fall. So see how she's learning how to come up and over. She's learning how to come up and over. This is coming over the stairs. This is climbing a ladder. You have to learn how to come up and over. And the balance, head up, neck up. But what I'm really doing, even though I'm saying all that, is the ears. Look at what I'm doing all for the vestibular in the ear. Now I can do the same for her now. Let her fall. Again, I have a 3-inch foam. Don't do this on like a concrete floor when you're playing around with somebody. I can do fast. Now her pelvis, she's jumping. Again, I don't expect her to jump. I don't expect her to jump. There's no difference. I don't look, just because I said, oh, you're jumping or you're skiing. I don't know if she's ever skied before. I don't know if she ever will. But at least her brain knows it's in there. I always go back to Harry Potter because I love Harry Potter. You know when he made the Patronus? And he realized when he did, you probably haven't read Harry Potter yet because your kids aren't old enough. But he did a spell. But when he did the spell because he knew he did it before, even though he hadn't done it before. And it's the same thing. If I touch someone with that possibility of, you know, she's going to climb Mount Everest. Now, whether she will or not, I don't care. But if I touch her saying, oh, there's no way in God's green earth that she climbed Mount Everest, that's already going to affect my lesson. Why does someone want to come to me when I'm going to go, oh, this one's a goner, you know? I just go, let go. Let's go. So now, see, I can do this like a little ant. I can go around her head and just go, boop, 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 boop. And she's... And again, I haven't worked on these areas, but just from the ear, what this has just done. Now watch when she gets up, how she's just going to roll getting up. But before she gets up, now you can lift her head. Just watch again because the chair's low. See, it's almost hard to hold the head now because she just wants to float like a balloon.
Chill.
Yeah. But see, now everyone should be able to do that. And when you touch someone and they can't, that's when it's up to you to show them how to get to here. That's how I look at it. If she can do it, then all of you can do it.
So I try.
But it is harder to do stuff like this on the kids. What I usually suggest is when they're sleeping, reverse them in the beds and sit down and do this. Because most children don't know, can't just lie down. That's what I was saying with me with acupuncture. To actually lie there and let the needle stay there for a half hour, I'm like,
Right.
I could be at the bank, I could be at the, writing my book.
That's like.
You can use it. Yeah.
Michelle, can you touch my face the way you touched her on
Sure.
the nose? I want to feel it.
Oh, yeah. So again, the nose and the nasal cavity and how people's eyes present and all of this, there's different ways of doing it. So you can, again, if you're protecting, I don't want to go into someone like this because it's going to bother with their eyes. I try and go around, but you can come right in here. See, now feel right here, I cannot float the nasal cavity over your face. And I'll do it on the left side just to show you. Oh, it's even much stiffer here. You feel that? That's harder to move the nasal cavity. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to go back to where I started. So again, I protected the head. So I'm elongating the nose and rotating the forehead. So I'm rotating the forehead while I'm elongating the nose. I'm separating the functions. Because like I showed you, the face is in a sense, there we go, hanging off. I'll do it from both different directions just for you to feel it. So now feel how right here, it's a little hard on your balance for your nose to come around the face. By the way, even though I have my hands here, my fingers are not into the temple. You want to see they're on the bone part. You don't want to press it in general in someone. Not everybody. So now, the face is moving. So now I'm taking these fingers here and see how I'm starting to rotate the face. Now I'm doing it quickly with her because she's already had all that ear work. There we go. Now to do it the way I was doing with her. Yeah. And anyone too that has any kind of sinus issues, all they talk about is like, oh my gosh, the drainage, the this, the max, all of this, just because look at the extra blood flow you're getting, look at the extra. The reason I got so interested in it is for the blood flow. My son's infections being high up in the ethmoid-septoid cavity, I was told the infection will probably stay there forever because there's so little blood flow, that means so little antibiotics are going to get up there. So he's always going to have a chronic issue. For surgery now to clean them out will affect the facial growth, so they have to wait till he's 18. And then this way I can go. See, I'm just twisting your nose. There we go. So again, going then back to the ears from that a little bit, you can just see how now even faster your head's getting. See? See, now I can spin her head and her pelvis this way reflects, just like a choo-choo train.
Yes.
Feel that? But if you look at most kids, especially like Down syndrome, things like that, you are not getting a walk like this. Their walk is whoomp and whoomp. So they never develop, this is jumping, this is climbing. See how I climb up the stairs, down the stairs. See how the rotation over the pelvis, just from that. But again, the brain's funny. I can do this to her brain, she'll automatically walk better, just like you automatically walk better. Because again, the brain is a parasite. This is so much easier. My head's so light. Woohoo! Now, can you feel like this all the time? No. Just like you can't be in love all the time. We're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. But once you learn how to do this, you can recreate it more often. Or again, when you're suddenly in a panic, if I have to suddenly jump or climb, she now has a better system to prepare herself. So I'm going to take this out.